Hi, I'm Greg Hall, and I'm going to go over how we can use the Tableau JavaScript API event listeners to drill down in our Tableau dashboards. So without further ado, let me click on our managerial dashboard. It's going to bring up our login screen. I'm going to log in with my user ID and password. So under the Learning Center, I'm going to click on School of Pharmacy Funding. It's going to bring up a dashboard from Tableau Public. Here we have our expenditures and our revenues, our contracts and grants. So let me go over the basic features first. So if I hover over any of the objects here, you can see the category percentage of totals and amount. So if I hover over the data points here, you can see the fiscal years and totals in millions of dollars. And by using the Tableau JavaScript API event listeners, I can select objects, get my categories, and it sums up everything to get my totals. Pretty cool. Same here on the revenue chart. I can select items here or data points, get my fiscal years, and it sums up the totals in millions of dollars. And here to the right, I have chart types. I have a word cloud, a bubble chart. What else? How about a tree map? So drilling down. So using the Tableau JavaScript API event listeners, I can, for example, select objects here. So I got my categories. It sums up everything to get my totals. And then here's my drill down. Notice that I have a drill down revenue, but since this is a expense dashboard, the drill down revenue button is disabled. So if I click here, nothing happens. So I'll go ahead and click on my drill down expense, click here. It's going to drill down to the selected categories here. The 5 selected categories. It also brings up the totals here. And again, I can drill down even further. Oh, I have my historical data right over here. So how about I'll just pick 3 categories. And it gives my totals here. I can drill down even further. So here's my 3 items. Here's the totals here. I have my historical years here where I can check for an earlier year. What else? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in regards to drill downs. Let's do a couple more. So the pie chart is really popular. So the communications team really recommends the pie chart for the expense dashboard. So let's go to a pie chart right here. So here's our pie chart here. I can select items here using the JavaScript API. I can hold down the control key, select a couple more slices here. Again, if I hover over any of these slices, you can see the category percentage of total and amounts. And I can go ahead and click on drill down expense. Notice that since I'm on an expense dashboard, that the drill down revenue button is disabled. If I click here, nothing happens. So let me go ahead and click on the drill down expense. It's going to drill down to the selected items here. And I have my totals. Notice that the pie chart starts to get smaller. So that's one thing about Tableau, where it doesn't position the pie chart to be the same as it was to start off with. So to start off with, when I have all my categories, I set the width and height, but as soon as you have less categories, because you're selecting a subset of the pie chart does not retain that same size. So for example, I'll just make it even smaller. Let's just select 2 slices here, drill down, and it gets even smaller right here. So I really like the way Telex does its dashboards or charts. Let me show you an example of using Telex. So with Telex, I am using .NET MVC C# with Telex to create these charts. Let's go to a drill down using Telex components. And let's go to a pie chart. So with the pie chart, it's really cool. You have a grid here, Pretty powerful grid. If you sort and you can filter on this guy, if you filter on it, then it'll be reflected on the pie chart. It's very powerful. You can use the grid component. You can deselect a category. I've selected back again, or deselect it. You can select items here, deselected, selected, deselect, select. I'll select for these guys, and then I'll post these to drill down, post these items. Pretty cool. And it's very clean because notice you have these lines here, these lines that go to the labels to make it easy to see. So you know exactly how these labels reference this slice, because these lines really help, especially if you have a lot of slices. Again, you have your grid. Pretty cool. The size remains the same, and this is a 3D pie chart. Pretty cool. Pretty slick. And you can look at different chart types. How about going to the dual axis bar line? Just to see how that looks like. Pretty slick. So again, I really like the Telerik pie chart. It's pretty cool. It's the size remains, or it retains even if you drill down. Pretty slick. So where was I? Oh, let's go back home. Sorry. And oh, here's reporting services, SSRS reporting services. So this is a report writer. Here's how this looks like. You can write really complex reports. You can export it to various formats such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, and print it out as well. And it's in real time. So both Telerik and reporting services is in real time, meaning as soon as you enter something, you can see the results. Tableau is an extract, so what we can do is we can have it scheduled daily, weekly, monthly. So that's pretty cool too, but it's not in real time. So here, let's go back to our School of Pharmacy funding. One thing to note, I tried to make one of our sites public so I can do the Tableau JavaScript API event listeners, and I can do the selecting of objects to get totals, and then drill down, and then once we have that, we can embed that to our Drupal public site, and I can give it to the communications team, and they can embed that to our Drupal public site. But then I had to go through, I filled out forms. You have to go through a lot of red tape. It's just wow. So I just gave up. So not a problem. We can just have the communications team learn the JavaScript API event listeners, which is not too hard. You can Google it, you can YouTube it, and if you Google it, you can just copy and paste the JavaScript code. I went to a conference. There's like a 30 minutes to either 30 minutes or 1 hour hands-on training on the JavaScript API. You can pretty much learn it, on your own. But I would just Google it or YouTube it. So here, yeah, it's because drill down, especially drill down, is really important. It's really a cool tool to have. For example, if I look at this, if I'm looking at expenses, there are probably categories I don't really care about. I might say, hey, I only care about these 4 categories. I only want to see the breakdown of these 4 categories. I just want to look at these guys here. I don't care about those other categories. So that's one of the purposes for having drill downs. That's why drill downs are so popular. So let's go back. And what else? Let's go to, how about a revenue dashboard? Let's go to a vertical bar chart. I'll select items here. I'll just select these 4 guys. And notice that because it's a revenue dashboard, the expense drill down is disabled. So I'll click here on the drill down for revenue dashboard. So here we see it here. It brings down the totals. I can drill down even further. Let's get the last 3, drill down. Voila. Okay, let's go back. What else? Did I pretty much cover everything? Okie doke. Let's go to a mobile one. So here's expense pie mobile. So with mobile devices, you have to be really careful because, your cell phones or your tablets, especially your cell phones, there's less real estate. So, for example, notice I don't have the categories here, the category labels, because in your cell phones, it'll just bleed over to the pie chart. Let me show you this viewer so you can see how it would look like in a mobile device. And the way we're going to do it is that we can use JavaScript to detect whether you're using your desktop, which is probably 90% of the time, or you're using a mobile device. So here we have our pie chart, and our historical years here are in a drop down. So if you had a lot of historical years, it's in a drop down. It saves a lot of real estate doing it this way as opposed to checkboxes. Here we can just hover over any of the slices to see the category percentage of totals and amounts, or you can look at the legend here, the colors to match it to see what the categories are. So yeah, so this is how it would look like if it's in a mobile device. So let's close this guy. I think I covered everything. So yeah, pretty cool. I hope this makes sense. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.